Hi there, my name's James Caldwell from Faith Christian School of Distance Education here in Queensland. In my last video I showed you how to download the Scratch desktop editor. Today I'm going to give you a quick overview of the features of the Scratch desktop editor so that you can join in with the coding lessons to follow. As soon as you open Scratch, you'll notice that it does not take up your whole screen. So if you follow me up to the top right here, you'll see a little square. If you click on that, Scratch will then maximize to take up your whole screen. This is really useful, especially if you have a laptop with a small screen. So over here on the left, we have the different categories of blocks. Now we work in blocks in Scratch because it's a visual editor, which means basically we don't have to write any code. We can take these blocks by left mouse clicking to grab them and dragging them into our workspace, just like this. Some blocks are a little bit different from others. And each one has a different color according to its category. We can join the blocks by left clicking our mouse, dragging them towards each other. When you see the grey highlight, you can let go. And this is how we can easily join blocks together. Some blocks will have the grey highlight in the middle, which means you can put blocks inside that block. Now, to remove blocks and to separate blocks, you simply grab the top block, and every block under that block will follow. So if I want just the bottom 3 blocks in this lot, I grab the second block down and I pull it apart, and all the blocks under it will follow, and so on. Now this is a hard concept for some people to grasp, but you'll get used to it fairly quickly. To remove blocks, all we do is simply drag the blocks over to the block area again, and they disappear. This is our work area. This is where we'll do all of our coding with our blocks. But we also do some other things here. If you look at these tabs at the top, we've got code, which we've just looked at. We've got costumes. If I click on that, my work area becomes a place where I can change my character's costume. Another word for a character is sprite. So usually when we're coding, we call our characters sprites. Sometimes you'll hear me going between the two. Another thing that we can change in our workspace are sounds. So we can edit the different sounds. Now we will be doing some editing with sounds and costumes as we go through our different coding lessons. But I'm just going to click on code here. And let's move over now to the right hand side of the screen. At the top here, you can see the stage. And yes, coding is a bit like putting together a play. We have a stage and we have characters. We can make our stage look bigger or smaller. If we click these arrows above the stage, then our stage takes up our whole screen. Or I can make the stage very small to give me more room on my workspace. Just below the stage is information about each sprite. I can rename the sprite. I can adjust where the sprite is on the stage using an XY coordinate. I will explain that later. We can hide a sprite. We can change the size of a sprite. And we can decide what direction the sprite should be pointing in. At the moment, we only have the one sprite, but we can add sprites from a library of sprites. We can paint a sprite, and we can upload sprites as well, or we can let the computer choose a sprite for us. We will definitely be doing that in our coding videos. Now, right over on the right-hand side here is the stage. Now, so far, all those coding blocks that we pulled out, they were to do with our sprite. You can see that it's highlighted here. Any code that we drag out into our workspace has to do with that sprite. If I come over to my stage, and I click on Backdrops 1, you will see my workspace has no code because I've put no code on the backdrops. Also, some of my code is missing from backdrops because backdrops can't move, so there are no motion blocks. Now, we will learn more about backdrops in a future video. Backdrops are very important because they help tell the story of whatever code you're doing, whether it's a video, whether it's a game. No matter what it is, you will need to plan out your backdrops even before you start coding. You can add other backdrops just by clicking on the Backdrop Plus button down there, and we will definitely be doing that as well. So that's the basic Scratch desktop editor layout. Now we will be looking more in depth at every single one of those points later on. I just wanted to show you that, just so you could follow along quite easily in the next coding videos. So I'll see you